Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. One more great fortune, a great treasure, I should say, that has brought us all together in his powerful shrine. A very, very special blessing from Bhagwan that we are able to gather here at all and sing his powerful name for 1 hour as Nama lotuses and offer them with deep gratitude and celebration of his grace at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. They say in Bhakti Marga, the Nama chanting is its own fulfillment. That we are able to chant the name at all is one grace. That we are able to chant more and more is more grace. And that we chant without expecting anything in return. And that for the very delight of singing the name is very powerful. And to think that I am not doing this, it's he within me, activating me into doing this, into singing the name, is the highest. That is in recognition of the truth that I am but an instrument in the hands of God. One day in Sudama, I would get up early, like we would go to bed early, by 8 o'clock, 8:30, because Bhagwan would go to bed. And then I would get up at 11:30 or so and sit for sadhana at 12 o'clock in the night, midnight. The first time I did that, I was determined to do as much Nama chanting as possible, and I was doing it again and again and again, that I, with great difficulty, with great struggle against sleep and the body restlessness, I completed nearly 20,000 namas. So in the morning, we would get up very early, like 2:40 or something, and then the whole day's work started, seva started. 5 o'clock, Bhagwan would come and sit there in the veranda of Sudama for our Bhagavad Gita session. By then, Vidyaka would make the morning kanji for Bhagwan, and then she would bring it and put before Bhagwan. Bhagwan would make me sit on one side, on the other side, the other three Sudama sisters would be seated. Bhagwan would sit in the middle. And then he would tell me, gesture to me, to go pluck 4 flowers from the garden. And then I would somehow manage it. In the beginning it was easy to find flowers, but then as I plucked more and more, naturally became less and less. At times I had to find, with a very intense search. There was a champaka tree, and when we planted it, somebody came and said, in this Tiruvannamalai soil, which is very hot, not conducive to the growth of this particular tree, it would die in 10 days. But then I thought, Bhagwan was there. It was in his presence that all creatures grow, the entire creation is working. And so, what could happen to this? And then, to our surprise and delight, it began to grow very fast, and the tree was soon laden with beautiful flowers. And so profusely at that. So, but then I began to pluck the dearest ones. Soon they were empty. And then I had to put a stool and climb over that and reach out to the higher ones. One day, Bhagwan, when I started the first time to put the stool to climb over, he came right behind me and said, Devaki, Devaki, be careful. See that you do not hurt the tree and you don't hurt. See that you do not hurt the tree, nor should you get hurt. The way he said forcefully, I knew it was not just for the tree alone, it was meant for all life. That was when I began to think about that utterance of Bhagwan, I found more and more deep meaning. It was a profound statement, though at that outset, it looked as though he was just commenting on something that was happening. I have shared this experience with other people. Of course, I learned that the ego, we hurt people, it's the ego that hurts people. Because in hurting people, we get some satisfaction. It is the ego that is satisfied by throwing abuse at them. Little realizing that we are being the cause for somebody's agony. But then, when they throw back abuse, we get hurt. Then what is getting hurt? The same ego that hurt the person is getting hurt. So getting hurt is as much ego as hurting others. This is what I understood, that we should also be careful that we should not get hurt even at the slightest provocation. The hurt would come, people would hurl abuse at us, because it's for that they have come into this world. All the evil characters, they have come to do evil things. They are evil instruments in the hands of God because they add that element of, what shall I say, a thrill, an extra element of interest to the whole drama that goes on from eternity to eternity. Like Bhagwan said, they have come to do evil, let them do. They have done their work. We will do Father's work. So, I understood that even people should hurt us. It is for their satisfaction, but it is up to us not to get hurt. Knowing very well, if I get hurt, it's my ego. Getting hurt is also okay, but as long as you realize it's your ego, which is very much there still to get hurt. So the profundity of the statement, often the great ones utter just a sentence or two here and there, and that becomes the universal statements of truth. Now, here we have to learn that in Sudama, that Bhagwan was giving darshan. Often I would get doubts, and that day, as I said, after chanting 20,000 times, I was jubilant, so happy, overwhelmed by my own effort that I could keep awake against all the struggle. So 5 o'clock, after I brought the flowers, after he distributed one to each of us, then before drinking up the kanji, I had to read out 2 slokas from the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita every day. The direct meaning from Swami Chidbhavananda's book, followed by the expounded meaning by Shri Gyaneshwar from Gyaneshwari. Just 2 slokas. And then Bhagwan would keep blessing us, so that whatever we read or heard would go deep down into the very soul, that it starts working. So here, after this was over, I said very jubilantly, very, very happily, Bhagwan, I stayed up the whole night, struggled very hard at times to keep away from sleep, but then I completed 20,000, managed to keep awake. And I thought I had achieved something very great. It was, for me, the first time I kept the whole night awake. And I was expecting all the time a beautiful, appreciative smile of his, a bewitching smile always. And instead of a smile of appreciation, Bhagwan only frowned, looked very stern. And then he moved both his hands in a gesture of a very strong no. Useless to say, just by a gesture, he conveyed it very effectively. It's no use, it's no use. You can imagine the shock I went through. Here I was appreciating, expecting a word or smile of appreciation, but all I got was a stern look and an unspoken useless. But then he softened and then he said, Devaki, do you know what you said? You said you have chanted 20,000 times. You kept awake the whole night. It's my father, Devaki, who made you do it. It's my father who kept you awake. You think you can do it? It's my father. So again, it was another bombshell that dropped on my head. But then I learned the highest truth, that no matter what we do, we are doing it only as an instrument in his hands. It's he who is the real doer. So we have to remember that even the chanting the name, no matter how much sadhana that we do, it is made possible by the grace. It's grace in the beginning, it's grace in the middle, and it's grace at the end. So we should remember that we are only instruments. Just as a lamp is an instrument, as soon as the current passes, its job is to glow and burn, giving light, throwing light all around. And a fan is there with its structure, which is very different from the structure of the lamp. And when the same current passes through it, it begins to rotate with speed, spreading only the wind everywhere. One instrument spreads light, another instrument spreads wind. And they are not jealous of each other. The lamp doesn't think that the fan is better spreading the wind, and nor is the fan complaining about the lamp in jealousy. They simply do the work as an instrument. And if the current switches off, the fan is not complaining, there is no current, I am not able to do my work, nor does the lamp do it, that I am not able to burn because there is no current. They simply accept it. This is being an instrument. You begin to think that everything that happens only by his will and by his effort. It is his doing. We are only machines. He is the operator. And so if you remember this from moment to moment to moment, that I am but an instrument, and nothing is getting achieved because of me or through me. There is no me in it. The body is His. He created this body, the body is His, and through this body, His body, He is doing whatever is necessary to do. This awareness that I don't exist at all except as an instrument in His hands is a very powerful sadhana. We can do it while chanting the name, and remembering that I am but an instrument in the hands of the Divine, that He is the real doer. Even when I make a terrible mistake, it's He who did it through me. And when I achieve something, say the Nobel Prize, it's He who made it possible, who worked through me, that I am but an instrument. So this awareness is very, very important in sadhana from moment to moment to moment. Even when you chant, you are chanting the name of the Divine, the Supreme Divinity. You are connecting to the highest power. And remember, you are not connecting. It is the Divine in you that's working through you, connecting you to the highest power. So this awareness, even while chanting, must be there. This is what Bhagwan taught me that day. Two powerful teachings. That which hurts, if that which hurts people, deriving satisfaction from it, is ego, then that which gets hurt is also as much ego. And the second, whatever we do, even when you feel thirsty and you want to give yourself a cup of water, remember you are giving yourself a cup of water, can still be seva to Him in you. The food that you take for your own stomach, instead of thinking that I'm taking food for my welfare, for the good of my body, I take it as prasad and I offer it to Him in me. Then it becomes a great service, it becomes naivedyam, an offering. Every little work, everything that falls into our hand, if we act with awareness that it's He all through. And everything is His. If you look upon something as an object, it is His. If you look upon it as subject, it is He Himself. So it's only He and His. With this awareness, we can live the life that's allotted to the body, allotted to this particular identity, this particular person. We can live very effectively, efficiently and happily. Because when you are an instrument, like I said, the lamp or the fan, they don't complain if the current doesn't come through. So whatever life brings to us, be it a joy or sorrow, it comes from Him. Of course, it works under the law of karma, and therefore a joy comes out of some good deed that I had done to somebody in my past birth. A sorrow comes to me because of some bad deed I had done to someone in the past birth. It wouldn't matter, it would not be taken into account as good karma or bad karma if I had done it thinking that I had not done it, it is He. So the true culprit is thinking that I am doing it. I, the ego self, this little me, you're not capable of anything but for the grace, should think that I have achieved. I have done it. I have done so much of japa. I have done some deep meditation. I am doing Atma Vichara. You are finished even before you started. Because this I am is small I am, which refers to the ego. There's a big I am behind the small I am. So let us remember that we are only instruments in the hands of the Divine. That whatever we do, we are able to do at all only by the grace of Bhagwan. This is a very important and powerful sadhana, the chanting the name. Even while chanting the name, thinking that he is making me chant, so the merit is his. That's why Buddha said, I have quoted very often, lives are lived, deeds are done. There is no one to live or to do. Why? None of us truly exist except as instruments in the hands of God and the one Divine. That supreme divinity, my Father alone exists. There is nothing else, no one else. So that supreme divinity has put on the costumes of all the creatures of the cosmos and is playing each one's role to perfection. The dialogues that each creature speaks, the actions, the account of actions allotted to each creature. It's he, it is his. So let's remember this, he and his. The whole cosmos is he. If you look upon it as cosmos, then it is his cosmos. So every work that you find in this cosmos is his work. And he is the work, he is the doer of the work, and he is the result of the work as well. It's he alone. We shall now offer our today's prayer at the Lord's feet of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, we beg you again and again, for that's all we can do. And we do it 1,000,000 times, for your immediate divine intervention to bring forth a dharmic normalcy to today's world, a world of violence and growing enmity between people and people, countries and countries, with the war already going on, and sudden attacks of vicious diseases, killer diseases, and the violence of nature. We beg you, the cosmic controller, to intervene and bring forth peace, unity, order, where there is so much chaos and disorder, harmony, where there is so much disharmony, and of course a good control over the diseases and the furies of nature. Only you can do it, and we beg you to do it. As quickly as possible. We also beg you to uproot all the negativities of the human mind, which are in truth responsible for today's world. As we say, they are the Rakshasas of our mind. The Divine alone can handle them and uproot them. We also beg you to reach out to those people who have been stranded in varied parts of the world for some reason or the other, which of course their past karma. They may belong to different countries, speak different languages and of different religions, and yet they are in agony, crying out for help and protection. We beg you to do the needful. We also beg you to help and protect all those unselfish people who have been slogging hard for the sake of the others from unhealthy remarks, unhealthy reproaches, aspersion, which come in the way of constructive work in the world. We beg you, Bhagwan, to promote the economy of the country, to promote the growth in varied fields of activity, that India reaches its original status of the world guru, the world teacher, so that it could lead the whole world in the path of Dharma. We also pray to you in all earnestness and sincerity for unceasing chanting of your powerful name. It's not possible otherwise. We beg you to bless us for the joyful continuation of Nama chanting and unbroken remembrance of your teachings, your powerful teachings and leelas, which keep us away from Maya, that we assimilate all that and make it over, make it into Atma Shakti, the true Shakti of the being. We beg you again to bless us to be sattvic instruments in your hands and offer our everyday, run our everyday life as an offering to you in all aspects of the day. And Bhagwan, please bless us not to be ever caught by Maya, the snares of Maya, because Maya in the beginning provides a very powerful attraction, and the mind is such a trickster, it provides its own explanations to suit itself, interpreting everything as, oh, this is divine, this is also divine. And that's how we get caught by Maya. But very soon we would learn which is Maya and which is reality. Bhagwan, please bless us not to be attracted by the temptations of life. We also seek that ultimate blessing, the ultimate peace and bliss. But then we need to be purified, and we take refuge in your powerful Nama and joyful, unceasing chanting of this, so that every one of them would turn into Atma Shakti. We also take refuge in your seva. Whatever work falls into our hand, wherever we are, we could do it as seva to you and joyfully at that, without any unhealthy jealousy or competition. And that in the spirit of surrender to you. Then every gesture of ours would become Atma Shakti. We also seek your blessings to practice acceptance of whatever life brings to us, joy or grief. Coming from you, it can only be a blessing in disguise, and it's meant for our greater good and closer kinship with you. As we progress, we will begin to see your vibrant presence, your pulsating, living presence everywhere and in everything. We would also come to know that it is your grand plan that is always at work, and it is your will that's behind all the happenings of life. Bhagwan, please bless us to be able to detect that hidden grace even in the most disastrous experiences of life. When there is a sudden attack of some past karma, bad karma, we collapse. We are unable to find any grace in that. We resent God and move away in search of a better one. And we begin to blame everybody else for our own failures. But then Bhagwan had given a promise that those who chant the name of God, those who do service to God, that His Divine Father would convert all the difficulties into great blessings. So let's be grateful to Him always, even for the adversities of life. and Bhagwan, we seek your blessings again and again for all the species of the cosmos, in whatever state of being they are, in whatever state of misery, to be lifted to a higher plane. And finally, we seek redemption, liberation from the vicious cycle of births and deaths. Every birth, I often say, you celebrate your birthday, you are inviting the next birth. What have we done to deserve a birthday celebration? Why that particular day alone should be happy? In remembrance of what? What have we achieved? To celebrate the Jayanti of a great soul is different, because we are grateful, we are showing our gratitude. But otherwise, a birthday should remind you again and again that you are inviting births. And a birth means living in the ocean of samsara with endless waves of problems, one after another. Please do not think that I am taking a negative attitude, negative stand to your birthday celebrations, but it is only to emphasize a point that we should be free from the very cycle of births and deaths, because this is based upon our aham bhava, that I am the body idea. It's because of the tyranny of the ego that let's pray to Bhagwan that we be free from the clutches of this ego, so that we be blessed with that immortal life, that eternal living, and eternal servitude to that one eternal supreme divinity. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.